Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. We're happy to see you here from all over the world. If you're new, welcome to the family. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Known for its stealth and precision strikes, this aircraft, previously unmatched by enemy weapons, faced a tough challenge last month when a missile fired by the Houthis nearly hit it, along with other American F-16 jets. This was according to a report by the New York Times. The missile, launched from Yemen, triggered air raid sirens in several areas, and Israeli media reported hearing multiple explosions. The Houthis have now launched their first military response after Tel Aviv bombed Yemeni ports. The UAE in turn has stepped in to help lift the air blockade on Tel Aviv. Even Tel Aviv admitted that the situation in Yemen has become extremely complicated. Meanwhile, Washington is investigating the deaths of 3 U.S. sailors during a Yemeni airstrike. According to Mossad, the Houthis are manufacturing their own missiles, and the only way to stop their attacks is to end the war in Gaza. The White House echoed this, saying the situation in Gaza is dire and that the United States plans to release billions in frozen Libyan funds in exchange for resettling Gaza residents. Former Israeli Prime Minister Ehud Barak has called for civil disobedience to topple Netanyahu's government. Trump praised Barak's stance and reminded people of his past leadership. Meanwhile, the United States has reportedly set a date for a potential meeting between Trump and Putin, clear signs that global politics are heating up. Back to the Houthis. Their threat is becoming more complicated by the day for Tel Aviv. It almost feels like the situation is turning into an encrypted puzzle. Reuters reported that a Yemeni missile managed to bypass Israeli defense systems and strike a target in Tel Aviv. Sirens went off across the city, and Channel 12 reported that a drone coming from Yemen was intercepted near Ben Gurion Airport. Due to the rising tensions, Polish airline Elot has extended the suspension of its flights to and from Tel Aviv through the end of May. Satellite images showed that a U.S. naval group accompanying the aircraft carrier USS Truman withdrew from the Red Sea and passed through the Suez Canal, suggesting strategic repositioning. On the political front, Houthi leader Mohammed al-Bukaidi responded to Netanyahu's threats to assassinate Houthi leader Abdul Malik al-Houthi.
He called them empty propaganda. He emphasized that al-Houthi has long been a target of the US, the UK, and Israel, and that all of Yemen is ready for martyrdom.
Saudi media, quoting an Israeli official, said each airstrike on Yemen takes about a week of planning due to the complexity of the situation. Meanwhile, Yedioth Aeronaut reported that Israeli estimates suggested it would take a month to restore damaged Yemeni ports and Sana'a airport. But a Yemeni airline has already landed in Sana'a, indicating faster than expected repairs. A senior Israeli Air Force intelligence official called the Houthis a formidable enemy and warned that their attacks won't stop anytime soon. Channel 124 News added that the Houthis have learned weapons manufacturing techniques from Iran's Revolutionary Guard and now produce many of their missiles domestically. The channel noted that cutting supply lines alone won't be enough. Only ground operations by Yemeni opposition forces could shift the balance. In a related development, Israeli media reported that UAE airline Etihad launched an ad campaign promoting travel through Abu Dhabi, as several Arab and European airlines have cancelled their Tel Aviv routes. Meanwhile, the U.S. Navy is investigating the deaths of 3 sailors at a training camp and another in a traffic accident, under a veil of official silence. There's growing speculation that these mysterious deaths are linked to recent losses in the Red Sea, following attacks by Yemeni forces, according to Reuters. Channel 12 described the Houthi issue as extremely complex, saying they possess hundreds of ballistic missiles and can launch at least one a week, causing significant damage, including to Ben Gurion Airport. The channel stressed that ending the Gaza war is the only solution, something even U.S. officials have confirmed. Currently, many Israelis are struggling to return home due to the air blockade imposed by Yemen, which has grounded flights to Israeli airports. This has left travelers stranded and financially stressed. Some have even turned to music to express their frustration. One lyric translated roughly says, "Stuck in Toronto just trying to figure out how to get back." From the flames of the Yemeni front to the controversial plan to relocate Palestinians, Trump said the three countries he recently visited will play a role in solving the Gaza issue. He described the situation as appalling and suggested turning Gaza into a free zone free from Hamas control. He claimed most Gaza residents want to stay in the Middle East rather than migrate to Europe. Lastly, NBC News reported that the U.S. administration plans to unfreeze billions of dollars in Libyan assets, which have been locked for over a decade in exchange for resettling Palestinian refugees. From forced relocation plans to controversial U.S. statements, Trump speaks out on the Middle East. In a move that sparked wide debate, former United States President Donald Trump made headlines again with a controversial interview on Fox News. He emphasized the Gulf region's immense strategic importance, calling it the energy capital of the world. Trump praised Gulf leaders for wisely investing their oil revenues and said the United States is now closer to the Gulf than ever before. He spoke highly of the three regional leaders he met on his tour and claimed the region was on the verge of turning to China, but insisted that's no longer the case. Regarding the Iran crisis, Trump acknowledged that Iran poses a danger to the Gulf but said he doesn't see it as a real threat because, in his words, the United States has the greatest military in the world. He added that he prefers a peaceful solution with Tehran and expressed support for Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu, saying Netanyahu is dealing with a complex situation after the events of October 7th, events Trump claimed would never have happened if he were president. Trump also blamed Iran as the main problem in the Middle East today, and emphasized his administration's commitment to resolving the conflict between Tel Aviv and the Palestinian movement. He claimed that if he were still in office, Iran wouldn't have been able to fund or arm the Palestinian factions. He questioned why oil-rich nations even need civilian nuclear programs, considering their vast oil reserves. More shocking claims, Trump accuses former FBI director. In a separate statement, Trump accused former FBI Director James Comey of indirectly threatening to assassinate him by posting a photo that Trump viewed as an incitement to violence. He labeled it a clear threat against the President of the United States. Meanwhile, the Pentagon reaffirmed its commitment to Trump's America First agenda, promising to work toward a more stable and prosperous Middle East. Trump also boasted about the financial gains from his Gulf tour, saying, "In just 4 days, I made 12 times what we spent in Ukraine." A clear jab at United States foreign aid policies. Back in Israel, former Prime Minister Ehud Barak told Israel's Channel 13 that bringing down Netanyahu's government is now a necessity, and that it can only happen through civil disobedience. Israeli public broadcasting quoted top military officials who expressed concern that President Trump's current moves are isolating Tel Aviv on the global stage. Palestinian and Syrian fronts heat up. In Gaza, the Israeli military says it continues to secure strategic positions in preparation for a full-scale military operation. Over in Syria, Trump said he told Syrian President Ahmed al-Sharaa that his past is complicated and difficult, but still saw him as the right man for the region. Trump said he was very impressed by the Syrian leader, calling him amazing and grateful for the decision to lift sanctions on him. On Ukraine and Russia, the end of the war is near. Trump believes the war in Ukraine is coming to an end, saying Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has lost all his leverage and is now just a spectator, unable to influence anything. Trump announced his intention to meet with Russian President Vladimir Putin soon, aiming to reach a direct agreement without any intermediaries. In another comment, Trump sarcastically called Zelensky the greatest salesman in the world, but pointed out that he now lacks any real power in negotiations. Prisoner swap talks in Istanbul. Serbian President Aleksandar Vučić expressed hope that ongoing prisoner exchange talks between Moscow and Kiev and Istanbul would lead to positive outcomes. Western media outlets had different takes. The New York Times said Russia is negotiating from a position of strength. The Washington Post called Russia's demands unacceptable to Ukraine. The Guardian described the talks as a setback for Zelensky. Reuters quoted a Ukrainian source saying Russia's demands are out of touch with reality. Thanks so much for watching. Let us know what you think in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications. At S News, we're committed to bringing you balanced and traditional reporting. See you